Welcome to Your True Calling. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Dr. Michelle Chappell, a psychologist and a rock star. I've helped thousands of people find their true purpose by discovering their one-of-a-kind superpowers. Each week, I'll share tools and client success stories to help you find gifts you don't know you have so that you can thrive in a career that fills your soul and passion projects that make you feel whole. If you're like most people, you do not know what your true calling is, but you really wish that you did. Did you know that the number one regret of the dying is that they didn't live a life true to themselves? They did what others expected of them. Well, you know what? I didn't let this happen to me, and I'm not going to let this happen to you either, which is why I started this podcast. And you are lucky enough to be listening to the very first one. Now, I ditched a career as a psychology professor to become a rock star. And I know that may sound insane. And actually, a lot of people told me that they thought it was insane. But some people thought it was kind of cool. I discovered I could write songs and sing after I started studying psychology in graduate school at Princeton. And it took a while for me to get the courage to realize that maybe I wanted to do something different with my life. Why did I discover these gifts? I didn't even know they were there. Well, I sort of did. And we're going to talk about that because that's actually the secret to finding your true calling. For over, 20 years, I have helped thousands of people find their true calling. But, I have to be completely honest with you. That is not what I set out to do. It's not what I thought I was doing. After I ditched my career as a psychology professor to become a rock star, I got a record deal. It happened to be in South Africa, which was pretty friggin' crazy. So I did a tour around the country on radio stations, and I remember one of the DJs asked me, "Do you think you'll ever go back to teaching?" And I'm like, "No. Why would I do that? I'm a rock star now, But I realized later that I actually missed teaching. I really liked it. I just didn't want to be a psychology professor anymore because when I had been one, as much as I loved my students and I was really good at it, I just couldn't see myself doing it for the rest of my life. And maybe you can relate to this. I mean, maybe you're in a situation right now that you just don't think you can do anymore. You're burned out on it. It's just something's missing, right? Something felt missing for me. And maybe something feels missing for you right now. And I got to tell you, the truth is that's a good thing. Right now, as you're listening to me, you have a superpower that you don't know you have. You're either completely unaware of it, or you kind of know it's there, but you don't really know what it is. This gift makes you different from everyone else in the world. It's also the reason why you're here on this planet right now. So I am on a big fat mission to help you find that gift. You came into the world with a distinct purpose and a group of gifts to fulfill that purpose. Each of us came into the world with a very different reason for being here. Even identical twins have different reasons for being here. But see, what happens is early in life, you're told that you're not allowed to be your true self. It starts in your family where you're given a role or maybe more than one role that doesn't really fit who you are. Like you're the smart one, or you're the dumb one, or you're the pretty one, or you're not the pretty one. And then in school, if you spit back what teachers tell you, you'll get an A, but you risk getting anything from an A to an F if you try being original. So you stuff originality down. And then when you're hanging out with your friends and other social groups, you start to realize there are parts of you that don't really fit in with their values, and so you stuff those down. And then in the workplace, there are parts that don't really work there, and so you stuff those down. And as the years go by, you stuff more and more important pieces of who you are down into the unconscious. Often we find our superpowers by accident. One of the superpowers that I learned by accident that I had was that I was good at helping other people find their superpowers. You know, when I came back from South Africa, I did decide to teach, but I thought, I don't want to teach psychology classes anymore as a professor, but I would love to teach creativity because I thought, if I found that I could play guitar and write songs and sing later in life, I could probably help other people to be more creative too, because I'm a really good teacher. I would love to do that. So I started doing these workshops where I mixed psychological principles together with motivational music, and I would give my students assignments to do every week, and I would check in with them, and it was sort of like group coaching before group coaching was a thing. And the big surprise to me was that I did help them to be more creative, but what was happening in my class is that the people were actually finding gifts that they didn't know they had either. And then they would use those gifts to change their lives. So they would take their new superpowers and use them to find better fitting jobs for themselves, or they would expand into a bigger version of themselves and escalate the careers they were already in, or they would find new artistic and athletic outlets to express their true selves. So it was sort of like a happy accident that I was helping them find their superpowers, but then when they found their superpowers, they found their true calling. And that's the big secret I have to helping people find their true calling is find your missing gifts first. They're right beneath the surface in you right now too. And even though you don't know your superpowers are there, they're there. Even though you pushed them down years ago, they never really went away. I, by the way, call this suppressed superpower syndrome. They are ready to come out as soon as you're ready to let them out. These parts of yourself are kind of beneath the surface. And so like Humpty Dumpty, you can put them together again. And when you do put them together again, you find that you are a very different person from everybody else in the world. The reason why you stuff these different gifts or superpowers into the unconscious is because you were trying to fit in with others. You felt a lot of pressure to be like everybody else, or for certainly not to be your true self, because there was something fundamentally wrong with that, right? Almost every single person I have ever taught or coached has felt like there was something wrong with them, or they felt unworthy, or just like not good enough. And odds are you're probably relating to this on some level. Well, that's because of all the pressure that we're feeling to be someone other than who we are. And that's a lot of pressure. So I'm on a mission, as I said, to help you find that gift. And there's other abilities and passions that are connected to it so that you can bring them up to the surface and start being who you really are. And the really cool thing, this is my secret to finding your true calling that other experts don't have, is that when you start to uncover these buried abilities, they automatically point you in the direction of your purpose. And not only that, but because you've been using so much energy to suppress these gifts, when you stop suppressing them, all this energy is available to you, and you can harness it to actively change your life. You have the ability to reinvent yourself in this crazy world that we're living in right now. So if a job comes to an end, or a pathway you've been on comes to an end, you can rely on these newfound abilities to get on another path that may even work better for you than the one that you were on before. So that is the promise of finding your superpowers. Most people who are trying to help you find your true calling are just like, let's find your true calling. Let's start there. And that is so overwhelming. That is why most people don't ever find it. It's too much pressure. It's too amorphous. Remember, the top regret of the dying is that they didn't live their purpose. What I found quite by accident is that's the wrong order to do things in. A better order to do things in is to look for that gift that's trying to get your attention right now. It's right now, as I speak to you, there is a gift that is just right beneath the surface saying, me, 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 me. I'm ready. Look at me. And I'm going to help you find that sucker. Because once you find a gift that you've been missing, it changes the direction of your life. And you automatically start following your calling. So for example, here I am, a psychology professor, and don't get me wrong, I still love psychology. I still use it all the time. But here I am, a psychology professor, and all of a sudden these gifts show up, and they're like, hi, you can sing. Hi, you can play guitar. Oh, you can actually write songs. Like, what? It was a surprise. It wasn't what I thought, and I didn't do it right away, but once I started really wrapping my arms around the fact that I came into the world with these musical gifts, I started really taking that seriously. And I started, singing at some open mics while I was still a professor. And then I eventually joined a rock and roll band. So that's what I want to help you do, because when you find one gift, it also leads to other gifts. And slowly but surely over time, you start to realize the special person that you are. And we need what you've got right now. I don't want to put too much pressure on you. You might be thinking, oh my God, the world is so crazy. I mean, please don't say that I have to save the planet with my gift, because I barely am hanging in there for myself. Don't worry, it's not like that. In fact, it should take the pressure off of you, because the real pressure on you is the pressure that people put on you to be somebody that you're not. I'm trying to take that pressure away from you. And just by virtue of wrapping your arms around the gifts that you came into the world with, and just by virtue of being you, you will contribute to the world, either directly or indirectly. Don't worry about that. That will come naturally to you, and we'll talk about that in future episodes. I just want to tell you that I'm just so excited to work with you. And so I will be telling you stories of clients that I've worked with over the years to show you how they found a gift they didn't know they had, and how they changed the direction of their lives using that gift, so that you can find yours. Because here's the thing, people are so different from each other. No one size fits all. And I've worked with so many different people that the more stories I share, the greater the chance that you're going to find one of those stories really just sets your soul on fire, because you're like, oh, that resonates with me. Yeah, that's like me. And then the other thing is I am going to actually be doing live interviews with people who listen to this podcast to help them find a superpower they don't know they have. I'm really good at this. I can do it pretty quickly. And if you find this to be an interesting proposition, please go to my website, yourtruecalling.org, and you'll see that there's a place on that website where you can contact me. And as I close today, I want to do a little exercise with all of you that you can do at home, or if you're listening in your office, or even if you're driving your car. Well, not the close your eyes part, but keep your eyes open if you're driving your car. But I just want to give you a few questions to sort of prime the pump, so that you can start thinking about, what is that gift that's trying to get your attention right now? What is that superpower that you have that you're not noticing, or that you might be aware of, but you're not taking seriously enough? So you can do this at home. You don't have to volunteer to have me help you find your superpower on the air. So close your eyes and think for a moment. What is something that comes really easily to you? Maybe so easily to you that you take it for granted. And maybe one of the ways that you can think about what that might be is just compare yourself to other people. What's something you can do without even really trying that hard that other people have to exert more effort around? It can be a big thing, like me figuring out that I can write songs, that I can sing, that I have melodies playing in my mind all the time. I thought everybody was like that. And then I found out later in life, no, they're not. That's different. Or it could seem like a little thing, at least to you. I remember once I went to a local coffee shop and I was waiting to get my cappuccino that I ordered. And the guy who rang me up was trying to solve a crossword puzzle. And he called out to the guy behind him who was making my cappuccino. He said, "Hey, Jeff, what's a 4-letter word for harvest?" And without missing a beat, Jeff said, "reap." See, it was easy for him. It came naturally to him. But you might not think something like that is very important. You know, the funny thing is, though, it really shows that Jeff has a way with words. And that could be a big asset to him in lots of different areas of his life. Sometimes we can't see the thing that's right under our nose because we figure everyone else can do it too, or it's just not that important. But I'm telling you, that's one of the biggest secrets to figuring out what your superpower is. The one that's trying to get your attention right now. So you can open up your eyes now and just let all of this sit with you in the back of your mind. And at some point, that superpower is going to pop into your mind out of nowhere. And when it does, you will know that that is the secret to finding your true calling. Thank you for listening to Your True Calling. Please leave a review and share it with your friends. From my website, yourtruecalling.org, you can follow me on social media, learn more about my music and my coaching, contact me to find your superpowers live on the air, and help me produce future episodes by funding me on Patreon.